Olá pessoal, estamos aqui na sede da SB Coaching. Eu sou Flora Victoria, cofundadora da Sociedade Brasileira de Coaching. Estou com um convidado muito especial hoje aqui com a gente, Tal Ben-Shahar, que é um especialista, o maior especialista em felicidade do mundo. Tal Ben-Shahar deu a aula em Harvard, que foi a mais assistida de todos os tempos. Ele que é filósofo, professor, palestrante e também cofundador do Happiness Studies Academy. Eu vou fazer hoje uma entrevista com ele exclusiva e vou anunciar alguma coisa muito bacana no final dessa live, tá bom? Então, se vocês estão gostando, like pra gente saber. Se você quiser comentar, entre aí, comente que a gente vai estar ouvindo vocês e tentando responder as perguntas de vocês no final, tá bom? Então, it's really an honor to have you here at SB Coaching, and I want you to tell our fans that are watching us, what is the Happiness Studies Academy?
Great. So first of all, thank you very much for having me. I'm so delighted about working together and playing together. So the Happiness Studies Academy is the first of its kind in the world. It's about integrating the whole field of happiness studies, looking at happiness from the perspective of psychology, positive psychology, from the perspective of philosophy, economics, neuroscience, biology. It's bringing together, bridging different disciplines, as well as bridging together different cultures. So it's bringing ideas from the East and the West, bringing ideas from ancient wisdom and the latest research. It's bringing all together under one umbrella towards one goal, which is raising levels of happiness. Raising levels of happiness for individuals, in relationships, families, organizations, and ultimately nations.
It's very interesting because happiness is the ultimate goal for everybody, yeah? And there is no science, a specific science that studies only happiness. So what you are bringing is to adding every pillar of academic studies and bringing together in a very special way to deliver to a person that wants to learn that, yes?
Yes, so exactly. So, you know, for many years, people have been talking about happiness, thinking about it. Aristotle talked about happiness 2,500 years ago. William James talked about it 150 years ago. Today, psychologists are talking about authors, you know, whether it's Shakespeare or whether it's Marianne Evans have talked about happiness. Philosophers from all over the world, China, the US, Brazil, and yet there hasn't been a field of studies that integrates all these areas together towards the betterment of human life. And you know, we need it. We need it because happiness levels are not going up, unfortunately, in the world, and stress levels are going up, anxiety, depression is going up. So we need a concerted, unified effort from all these fields, all these times, to help us flourish.
Yeah, and some people think that happiness is only a thing for a personal development or a personal goal. There are applications of happiness in corporations or in leadership, in education. Is it possible to improve happiness in all these areas?
You know, very much so. And if you think about it, there are a few ways to think about it. One is the relationship between happiness and success. You know, most people think that the key to happiness, the secret to happiness is being successful. Mm-hmm. Now, of course, success is nice, and being ambitious and working hard and achieving your goals is important. However, that doesn't lead to long-term happiness. The interesting thing, though, is in terms of the relationship between success and happiness, is that while success does not lead to happiness, happiness does lead to more success. If you increase levels of well-being, even by a little bit, you become more creative, you become more innovative, you become more productive, more engaged. Now, how important is this in an organization?
Yeah, for sure.
So if you have managers who increase levels of well-being for their employees, they'll get more productivity, more creativity, more engagement, better teamwork. So relationships improve if you increase levels of well-being, whether it's a personal relationship with friends or partners, or whether it's business relationships. Not only that, physical health improves significantly. So longevity, people actually live longer if they become a little bit more optimistic. And I emphasize a little bit, because we're not talking here about major radical change. We're talking about small changes that bring about every day, consistently, that bring about significant, major long-term impacts.
Yeah, and you founded this Happiness Studies Academy to teach people how to, the science from every field, and how to use it in their lives or in their work, yeah?
Yes, exactly. So how to use it in their personal lives as well as their professional lives. Professional lives, whether they are coaches, whether they are managers, whether they are teachers, lawyers, therapists. In every profession you can use it.
Parents as well.
And also on the personal level, for parents, for partners. You know, we learn so many things in school. We learn mathematics in school. We learn history in school. We don't learn how to be better partners, better parents.
How to connect, how to live with other people.
Exactly, and it's challenging for everyone. And today we have tools. We have the science of happiness that we can teach.
So what do you teach on this happiness studies certification that you are offering?
Yes, so essentially what we do is we of course present the theory, what is happiness? You know, there are many ways to define it, so we explain what is happiness, and then around that definition we build on that, and then we draw on the different people, the different research to create techniques, actual tools that you can use today, at home, tomorrow, in the office.
Yeah.
And for example, we talk about how you can find more of a sense of meaning and purpose in what you do. Whether it's in the work that you do, whether it's in the community that you're involved in. So we talk about sense of meaning and purpose. We talk about physical health, which is of course connected to mental health, whether it's exercise, what form of exercise. We talk about nutrition as well, and the importance of recovery. How do you deal with stress? You know, this is one of the things that's really out there a lot today.
Nobody needs that, nowadays.
No.
To deal with
Everyone
stress.
is calm.
That's right. So everybody knows.
So how do you deal with stress? And then also, how do you remain curious? You know that there is interesting research that just came out recently showing the connection between curiosity and longevity.
Wow.
So actually people who continue to learn are more likely to live longer. So just learning in and of itself, and especially if it's applied learning, something that you can apply to your family, friends, workplace, even better.
So I watched already some of your classes, and it's really, really delicious to learn a little bit more about happiness and this in your model that you developed, the Inspire model. So you developed that, and it's a very interesting training. Why did you decide to partner with us, SB Coaching, to represent you with exclusivity here in Brazil? Why SB Coaching?
So first of all, I must say it was an easy decision. It was, love at first sight. Thank you. You know, in psychology, when you think about change or analyzing a phenomenon, you very often go to the ABC model. What's the ABC model? A stands for affect. That's emotion, feelings. B stands for behavior, that's action. And the C stands for cognition, that's thought. At every level where I looked at SB Coaching, there was the right fit. In terms of affect, emotion, the kind of energy that I experienced from you, from your colleagues, is absolutely remarkable. I said, I want to be associated with that. In terms of your behavior, what you do, the programs that you run, your objectives, your goals, very much aligned with the kind of behavior that I want to be engaged with. And finally, with cognition, the thought, the content, there is a great deal of alignment between what the Happiness Studies Academy does and what SB Coaching does. So ABC just told me easy.
Yeah, and from our side as well. Yes, so when we decided to create this partnership and offer to our Brazilian market coaches or psychologists or leaders, some international training that can bring us the most sought class in Harvard, because you are very well known, not only because you are a great philosopher and a great teacher and all the books that you wrote, but when you create this business and how to teach people to learn happiness as a whole, bringing science in all the fields and teaching in a way that it's easy to learn and to implement, it was really terrific we decided that. And maybe you are not understanding everything that we are talking. Talvez vocês não estejam entendendo tudo que a gente está falando, a gente vai colocar subtítulos depois. Mas a gente está anunciando aqui algo muito importante, que é uma parceria exclusiva que a gente fez com o TOL, de trazer o programa do TOL aqui para o Brasil. A gente vai estar anunciando isso oficialmente em dezembro no POEX, mas a gente já vai começar a anunciar. Você é o primeiro que está aqui em live. Se você está aqui, dá like se você está gostando, porque essa é uma parceria muito fenomenal com uma pessoa muito especial, que é o TOL, um especialista muito forte em relacionamentos. Talvez você esteja se perguntando, mas para que eu preciso aprender sobre felicidade? Para que eu preciso aprender alguma coisa a mais? Eu vou fazer umas perguntas para o Tal agora sobre aplicações bem práticas, tá? Então fica aí mais um pouquinho. Tal, let me ask you a thing. How can we use the science of happiness to improve relationships or to avoid bad relationships? There is a way to do that?
Yeah, sure. You know, the first thing that's very important in the context of relationship is to realize that it's not all honeymoon.
Yeah.
Meaning there are,
unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately, you're right. You know, there are difficulties and hardships. If you've been together with someone for a while, there will be challenges. The challenge is to realize which are the challenges that can be overcome, and not only overcome, can be used as a ladder, as a stepping stone to growth. Because, you know, many relationships, well, all relationships face challenges. All relationships face hardships and difficulties. The question is, what do we do with these hardships and difficulties? One thing to do is to just say, okay, we're just not meant to be together, and that's okay. Some couples or some people decide that that's what they want, so they're apart. Another way to deal with hardship and difficulty is to say, okay, we're together, but we're not really together. Let's just avoid each other, but stay together. The third approach is to say, you know, we're going to deal with this. It's hard, it's difficult, but we're going to deal with it, and we're going to resolve this. And couples usually who go through this hardship and difficulty, and again, it is hard and it is difficult, when they go through it, they grow. They grow personally and they grow interpersonally. So in most cases, not all cases, in most cases, we can actually make lemonade out of the lemon. Not all cases, but most cases. And the way to do it is by, first of all, being very reflective. You know, I talk a lot about research in my teaching, but even more so, I talk and emphasize me-search.
Me-search.
Not just research,
Research.
looking inside, reflecting and saying, what do I want from a relationship? Who am I? What kind of self do I want to bring? What is the best version of myself that I want to bring to the relationship? And this is a learning and a growth experience. And very often that can only come when we're with someone who also pushes back, you know, someone who challenges us as well. So first thing is accept the fact that there are hardships and difficulties. Second is be there with an open mind and heart to learn and to grow together. Now, if things don't work, that's okay.
That's okay.
You know, that's also part of life, and it's not easy. But in most relationships, it is possible to grow.
Yeah, and there is a lot of research on how to improve relationships,
Yes.
not even relationships of partners, but as well in business or friendship. There is a lot of research that shows that relationship is the one of the most important pillars of happiness.
If not the most important pillar. And you know, here are some very simple things that we can do to improve relationships. So imagine if you dedicate 2 minutes, not 20 minutes, not 2 hours, 2 minutes to improving the relationship, beyond what you're already doing. So don't stop. If you're doing something great, keep on doing it. But 2 extra minutes, for example, writing a text message to your friend or your partner. Think about it, what you want to tell them. Appreciate them. Or when you get home, just say something nice to them. You know, these 2 minutes very often turn into 2 more minutes and on and on. This is what an example of small changes can make a big difference. Do new things together. There's a lot of research on novelty. Yeah. So go to a restaurant that you haven't been to before. You know, continue doing the things that you love doing anyway, but add some spice, something new. Go out with friends, you know, very often that leads to an improvement in the relationship. So all the basic things. The problem is in today's world we're so busy, you know, we were talking about stress, so busy, there are so many things to do that people don't take time for the basics.
the basics. 2 minutes is nothing. Isso eu vou traduzir aqui rapidinho. As dicas que o Tal está dando agora, nesse momento, é o seguinte: para você melhorar os relacionamentos, por exemplo, se você dedicar 2 minutos a mais todos os dias, mandar uma mensagem rápida para um amigo, para a pessoa amada, durante o dia, isso pode melhorar muito. Então, novidades, né? Conhecer lugares novos, ir para um restaurante novo junto, quer dizer, fazer o que você está fazendo bem já. Não deixa de fazer aquilo que você está fazendo bem, mas fazer algumas coisas adicionais podem mudar muito. E a gente não está falando aqui por uma coisa que eu acho que isso funciona, não, tem muita pesquisa por trás mostrando que casais que fazem isso, que buscam se dedicar ao outro alguns minutos por dia e buscam experimentar coisas novas todos os dias, se desenvolvem muito mais, né? Tá legal isso aqui, pessoal? A gente continua ou não? O que vocês acham? Continua? Vamos continuar mais um pouquinho? Podemos? Sim? Continuamos? Vamos mais um pouquinho? A little bit more? Talk.
Please.
Okay, so let's talk about money. Money is something very important for everybody. Prosperity, have a good career, or in the business, make the business do well. So, happiness studies, there are things that can help career development, prosperity, and business development. What do you have to tell our fans about that?
Yeah, so there's a lot of research obviously on happiness and money, and basically in terms of money leading to happiness, yes, to a point. After we have enough money for food and shelter, home, and basic education, then additional money doesn't add that much to happiness unless we know how to use it well. Now, what does it mean to use it well? So there's some interesting research. One, when people were asked, what do you think will make you happier, buying things or buying experiences? In other words, so let's say you have, 10,000 real. What do you do? Do you upgrade your car, buy a little bit of better car, or do you go on vacation with your family?
Experience
in creating experience. And most people would say, well, better car, because a car I will have for the next 3 years or 5 years, whereas a vacation is over after 2 weeks. That's wrong. Actually, in the long term, you get a lot more from buying experiences, whether it's vacation, whether it's meals in a restaurant, whether it's finding ways of spending time with the people you care about. So experiences over things. The second thing, we also get a great deal of benefit when we give others. So there's some fascinating research when we go shopping, for example. Yeah, we feel good. We feel good for a day, maybe.
Yeah.
When we give others, so when I buy my partner a gift, or when I donate money to a cause that I believe in, that contributes to happiness in the long term.
Yeah.
Much more so. So that's one thing about money. The other interesting thing about money is that paradoxically, when we don't think about money directly, that's when we're much more likely to make money. Yeah. For instance, companies that think about their values, companies that think about a sense of meaning and purpose, doing what they care about, these are the companies that in the long term are also the most successful, on average. The same with individuals. If you can identify what it is that you're really passionate about, what is meaningful and important to you, then just go out and do it.
The money is a consequence.
It's a consequence. It's a byproduct of being true to your values, being true to your passions.
Eu vou ter que traduzir isso, que é muito legal. Então, rapidinho para vocês, sobre dinheiro, sobre prosperidade, o que o Tal está contando para nós. Primeiro, você fica muito mais feliz se você gastar dinheiro em experiências do que você gastar dinheiro em coisas. Tem muita pesquisa por trás. Então, quando você vai viajar, vai trazer muito mais alegria do que você comprar alguma coisa. A outra questão é quando você usa o dinheiro para os outros, né? Você fica feliz quando você compra alguma coisa para você, com certeza, no shopping. Por isso que a mulherada compra tanto sapato. Mas essa felicidade dura muito pouco, dura às vezes um dia. Quando você compra algo para alguém, ou quando você doa para alguma causa de valor, isso traz uma felicidade de mais longo prazo. Em termos de negócios, se você foca como resultado final o dinheiro não vem. Se você foca nos valores da empresa, naquilo que realmente é importante, o dinheiro acaba vindo, e na vida pessoal também. Se você foca naquilo que você gosta de fazer, no que você é apaixonado nos seus valores, você vai ter o reconhecimento, o dinheiro vem como consequência e não como objetivo final. Então, algumas dicas super rápidas aí pro Tom. Continuamos, estamos tendo like aí? Ou não? Continua mais um pouquinho? Mais um pouco? Ok. One more topic, so because they are asking. So we talk about relationships, we talk about prosperity, money. Let's talk a little bit about purpose. Purpose is one topic that is very important.
Yes.
Yeah? So for a company or for a person, purpose, it's been shown in research that who has a purpose, a clear purpose, has more happiness. What
Exactly.
we can tell?
Yeah, so certainly people with a sense of meaning and purpose enjoy more happiness, but not just happiness. They also are more resilient, stronger, better able to deal with difficulties and hardships when these arise. And again, we go back to our conversation about relationships. A couple or partners who together see their life together, they have a joint purpose, are much more likely to overcome difficulties. They're more resilient. The relationship is more resilient. So that's another thing with purpose. Something else that I mentioned also in terms of money, people who have a sense of purpose are more likely to be successful at work. So it's health, and it's also health. As to point out, people who have a sense of purpose are likely to live longer.
Yeah.
Their immune system is stronger. So every level, whether you look at health, whether you look at success, whether you look at relationships, whether you look at prosperity, every level purpose helps. The question though is, how do we create a sense of purpose in our life? So Viktor Frankl, who wrote a book called Man's Search for Meaning, distinguishes between two types of meaning. One is the meaning of life, and the other is the meaning in life. Now, meaning of life, it's about finding a big sense of purpose. So why am I here? You know, some people find it in religion. For example, other people find a cause that they really believe in and then they dedicate their lives to it. This is the purpose of my life. That's difficult to find, and it's especially difficult to find every day. The thing though is that we can find meaning in life every day, and in fact every moment. Because at every moment we're having some impact. We can make some difference. I'll give you a simple example. This is my mom taught.
Yes.
So credit to her. You know, how about taking 15 minutes and deciding during these 15 minutes I'm going to be especially kind. You know, so say I'm a kind person and help others, but during these 15 minutes I'm going to go out of my way to be kind. That contributes to a sense of meaning because, you know, I'll open the door for people. I'll say a nice word, whether it's to my partner or friend or colleague or someone I see on the street. I will maybe donate a little bit of money, be extra kind beyond what I usually do for 15 minutes a day. And that in and of itself can provide me more meaning in what I'm already doing. Not looking for that grand purpose, 15 minutes, not a lot. We're saying that every day I'm going to do one small thing that is meaningful to me. And again, it usually involves helping other people, contributing in some way.
Greater than yourself.
Exactly, going beyond the self. So it's not necessary to wait for this big purpose. We can also look for the small purpose. Not necessarily the meaning of life, but meaning in life, which is accessible to us literally at every moment.
Every day. Vou traduzir rapidinho só a ideia principal. Primeiro, o propósito traz realmente benefícios em todas as áreas, seja saúde, seja prosperidade financeira, carreira, relacionamentos, traz sempre muito significado. Mas o Tal está contando aqui, né, do trabalho do Viktor Frankl, que eu falei no Happiness Experience aqui com quem esteve presente, mas ele conta o seguinte, que tem duas formas da gente ter sentido na vida, né? A gente pode ter o sentido na vida como um todo, ou o sentido da vida, ou o sentido na vida. O sentido da vida, às vezes, é muito difícil da gente encontrar. Mas o sentido na vida é aquilo que você pode fazer no seu dia a dia. Ele dá uma intervenção muito simples, por dia, usar 15 minutos para fazer algo além de você mesmo. Quer dizer, fazer algo bom para as pessoas que estão à sua volta. Ser particularmente mais bondoso, mais bondosa do que você costuma ser todos os dias. Isso traz muito sentido, muito significado para a vida que você vive. E você não precisa estar se preocupando tanto com aquele sentido maior da vida, qual que é o seu propósito da vida, mas atuando no dia a dia. Isso é muito importante e muito fácil de conseguir resultados. E agora a gente vai ficar só mais um pouquinho, né, para encerrar. Então, it was really a great pleasure to have you here, and I know that you have so many things to share with us, and because of that we are bringing you here to Brazil. We are translating all your programs,
Great, thank
and
you.
we'll be launching this by the end of this We're starting talking about all the things, all the details during the next months. And we are so happy that you are here with us at our headquarters to share with our fans, with our coaches, with everybody that loves everything that we give to them. We try to add value all the time, and this, I think, will be a really, really important thing for everybody that wants to be successful, happier, and flourishing life. Yeah, and last question that I want to ask you, if you could tell some advice, some final advice for who is watching us to be happier, which advice should this be to close our interview?
I think the most important thing to do is when you do something, to do it consistently. Because it's very easy after reading a book or going through a program to say, I'm going to change my life, radically transform it. It's much more difficult to actually implement something on a consistent basis. And initially it's not easy. So initially, we want to go back to the way we were before. So pick one thing and implement it consistently. And that one thing can be, for example, 15 minutes of kindness a day. It could be I'm starting to exercise, physical exercise, 30 minutes a week. It could be I'm adding 2 minutes every day to invest in my relationship. It could be I'm beginning to express gratitude every night before I go to sleep. Again, they can be small things. The key, though, is to do one or two of these things consistently over time, and then it will have the impact.
Wow. Para encerrar, eu perguntei para o Tal qual poderia ser um conselho para vocês que estão aqui assistindo para aumentar a sua felicidade. Ele falou o seguinte: o que quer que você decida fazer, faça de forma consistente. Pode ser que sejam aqueles 2 minutos no relacionamento, os 15 minutos de bondade para te trazer mais propósito, seja se exercitar fisicamente, ou seja você agradecer todos os dias, no final do dia, pelo aquilo que aconteceu. Mas qualquer coisa que você vai fazer, faça consistentemente. Muitas vezes as pessoas querem ser mais felizes, elas leem um livro e elas têm uma ideia fantástica e faz uma vez. Isso não vai adiantar nada. Faça consistentemente para você trazer mais felicidade na sua vida. Vou agradecer mais uma vez o Tal e vou pedir uma palavra de encerramento. Tal, thank you very much. If you want to tell last phrase or word to them, feel free.
Yes, please. So first of all, thank you very much for inviting me into your SB Coaching family, and I'm very grateful to be part of SB Coaching fan and to be part of your family. Thank you.
Thank you. Obrigada, pessoal. Tchau.